alright, Turnus is leading his men to go look for, well, leading them into war, and they're gonna fight the Trojans.
Excellent.
Okay, so Aeneas falls asleep, and the god of the Tiber comes to him and tells him that he's supposed to find 30 white piglets, eat them, and build a city there.
Okay, and then Aeneas goes and finds King Evander, and his son welcomes him in because he's a Trojan, and they want to start an alliance. And then King Evander starts talking to him and describes his father to him, saying that he was really young and he basically grew up with him.
Right. Hold on. What's his son's name?
Pallas?
Yes. He's very important. Pallas. King Pallas. Did we get to the important part? No, I don't think we did. We'll get to the important part about Pallas in a minute. Okay, so he's going to be friends with the Trojans. And, okay, yeah, say that about, like, him and who? Whose dad?
Oh, King Evander knew Aeneas' father, what's his name?
Right.
It's
Anchises.
Yeah, Anchises. And he's talking, and he's like, my beard wasn't even full, and I knew him, blah, blah, blah.
Excellent. When he was a young boy, he knew Aeneas' dad.
And look, he has a beard.
Anchises knew Aeneas. Oh,
no. Evander knew Aeneas' dad. 206, go.
Alright, so here they're shaking hands to make the treaty that said they were going to go, like, every year and have, like, a meal together. And if you didn't go, then you'd have bad luck, and the scorpion represents bad luck, since I didn't have any other way to say that, so, yeah.
Nice! Between Aeneas and Evander. Okay, who's up? Okay.
So, Hercules comes, and then he, like, the monster Cacus or whatever.
Cacus?
Yeah,
I call him.
And then he, stole his bulls or something.
Cows, yeah, whatever.
Cows, yeah.
Animals.
And then, so Hercules gets really mad, and then he breaks the cave by pushing the rock, and then he goes inside and sees the cow, and then he gets really mad, and then the monster guy breathes fire, and then he spears the monster and then ties him up in knots.
He ties up his limb in knots.
Yep.
And it's so gross because...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also true. He strangles him until his eyes pop out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cacus. Hercules kills Cacus.
This is all one scene.
Here's why this story is important. It's kind of like when you travel around the East Coast and then you go to those like historic buildings and it says like George Washington slept here. All this story proves they need a Hercules story. So it's like Hercules stopped in Rome to make it a real place and defeated this monster that steals cows.
So is it a Cyclops or is it just a monster?
It's just a monster, yeah. That's a Playmobil limitation right there.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Which god's son was he? Vulcan. Cacus is the son of Vulcan. Okay.
Alright. So this is our scene in this section. Evander talks about like the history of his city as he and Aeneas walk around and he like shows him the sights. So this is kind of how it got started. So nymphs had sons and they were like the first people there, but they lived by hunting and gathering. And see, the horse doesn't have a saddle on, so he's like uncivilized.
Okay.
And then Saturn comes after he got exiled from Olympus, and he's like, all right, guys, you're going to be civilized. So then they got horses with saddles, and they got laws, and they had, like, warriors and civilization.
Excellent.
And that's Saturn.
Got it. Love it. Who's up?
But, okay, so Venus goes to Vulcan,
Uh-huh.
and she tells him to build, and she asks him to build Aeneas some new armor. So this is kind of my sort of like description of the cave where like all the Cyclops work at, and there's like armor and fire stuff. So,
This is a very funny page. Anybody see why this page was funny?
Is Venus and Vulcan are
Married.
Yes. And?
She had an affair.
Yeah, this is not his child. So he's like, hey, would you mind making armor for my other kid? Yeah, for your stepchild? And he says,
only because you asked me.
ha! He says, no. But then, you guys didn't read this page, huh?
I read it.
That's
Here we go.
6
We got
minutes
my
and
book.
5 seconds.
Page is this 212? Yeah, what happens to him?
Like, after that, he, like, puts her arms around her and then, like, it finally melts and then they're flying.
Yeah, Vulcan hesitated. But when Venus put her arms around him and pressed herself against him, he felt a surge of warmth. He's like, all right, fine, I'll make the armor. That's funny. 214.
Whose is that?
Here.
Authentic. Okay, this is 214.
Who's up?
I
Oh, hi, Patricia.
okay. King Mesentus put the alive people right face to face to the dead people, so they died. And
Excellent. Okay, now, why do they tell the bad story about Mezentius here?
Just making
Because he's evil.
No, I know he's evil. Why does Evander tell Aeneas this story about Mezentius?
Is this what he's going to do to Aeneas if he kills him?
No.
But he's like, he knows.
Okay, how about hold on. Shh, shh, shh. Patricia? Why is Evander saying lots of people hate Mezentius?
because he kills people.
No, not why do they hate him. Okay.
So that he can get them for the army and then that.
Exactly. What Aeneas is doing is he's saying lots of people in Italy hate What Evander is doing is saying lots of people in Italy hate Mezentius, so they will be in your army. Go find these people. I know where they are, actually. They're easy to find.
Hey.
216.
Is that us?
Go.
There's a speech that Aeneas is telling his crew, and during it, a lightning bolt comes down from the heavens and strikes ground.
Yes, during his speech, a lightning bolt comes out of the ground, out of the heavens, and hits the ground. What a wacky coincidence. No, now finish the story, Nutchild. It's not a wacky coincidence. This is not a meteorological event. Okay, hold on. Let's say you and I are talking, and you say something like, I think we should blank, and then lightning comes down and hits the ground.
You better do
Society
it.
Well, if it hits you, don't do it.
Yeah, okay, if it hits you, you don't do it. And then Aeneas says, remember his line?
That they have to sail.
I am Jesus.
Because the idea was that they have to sail to Etruria or something like that.
Etruria.
Yeah, and
Land of the Etruscans, yeah.
and they didn't want to, but when the lightning bolt struck, they wanted him
Yeah,
to
imagine
travel.
that. When the lightning bolt sucks down, he's like, hey, that's a sign from my mom. Everybody's like, oh, I think we should get in the boat and sail to Etruria. Yeah, you're a genius. Yeah, okay, I gotcha. That's nice. Okay, hold on. 216. Sail to Etruria because Venus sends down lightning.
How do you spell Etruria? I'm gonna kill you. Right. Stop touching me, dude.
The people of Etruria are called Etruscans. Very famous term.
Isn't that in like northern?
It is in
Yeah,
northern
it's in,
Italy, but they did control Rome for years and years.
Was that Aeneas and his Greek?
No, that's Aeneas talking to Evander's people.
Oh, okay.
Same.
So then Evander's people are all like, oh yeah, that is a good idea.
Alright, so in this scene, Vulcan comes to Aeneas with his new armor, his helmet, his shield, his breastplate, and